1643, 28th of May 2019. Yet another farewell and goodbye. As you are sitting here with me in the viewpoint in Amirim, Israel, viewpoint of Mitzpe Kinneret, the view to the Kinneret and the Golan Mountains, where parts of my book In Search of Google was written, and also part of my life. May I return here, may I not, in the month of May. And I'm speaking in the English language. Well, I am speaking in the English language. I am. You see? I am is speaking in the English language. Now, as I watch here towards the horizon that meets the kind of hazy, misty, it's not fog, it's kind of summer haze of the Sea of Galilee, where there are stories about Jesus and wars and water, ancient times and present times. And I'm also sitting here now. I am. Some of you have said that I have lost my mind. I have lost my mind. You have lost your mind. To lose the way so easy is, hence righteous men are history's leftovers. What the wind literally and spiritually blows in my ears now, it would take few of you to realize, the few that have lost their minds. The message is very coherent. Some of you may not know yet what coherent means, some of you will. But you know the ABC, you know the A to Z, you know all the letters that I'm speaking in, all the sounds that we named letters and started writing about it. Now the journey unfolds, now 28th of May 2019, as I title my journey at the moment, or recent days, from IT to Guruji and Mataji. And in this line, as I watch here in this Kinneret, Sea of Galilee, kind of lake, seas, this line of the horizon, that there is something to the left, there is something to the right, but I can only see in the limited perspective. So there's been a path which I've treaded around from 2003 until 2019, 16 years now. So in 2003 I finished my high school and the period before the army, and when I joined the army I started my IT journey. Perhaps the IT, the computers, IT journey, the IT started before, when my grandmother, the mother of my mother, was keen of teaching me computers. And I went in maybe at the age of 10 to learn skills of computering. Or maybe before, when my father got his first computer, I don't know, maybe I was 5, 6, 7, 8 in such a rhythmical dance. And later on I had computers around me, even in my room. My grandmother, the mother of my mother, took care that I would have one. So this analytical perspective of computer was in my room. And now I'm talking about Guruji and Mataji. Which one is the IT? Which one is really high-tech, high technology? IT, infrastructure technology, which you sometimes associate these letters IT to computers and science, or Guruji and Mataji, Susma and Kailash Nishad. On this scale, on this path, I've treaded different dots, different places, different jobs, different systems. Which one is the real high technology? Well, the answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. Yes, the answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. I would tell you none. But there is a difference in their assistance of breaking or setting apart from reality as we imagine it to be. So Guruji and Mataji, which I've met in 2012, in a journey to lose the mind. Yeah? Once the mind is lost, the mind can be reprogrammed. Yes, it will always be programmed one way or the other. This is the tool that we refer to as mind. M-I-N-D. My understanding or realization of the terms that were set in me in language about this abstract concept, this elusive yet so feasible concept that seems to dominate our lives and is in the consciousness field for a while. Mind your own business. If you lost your mind, mind the gap between the platform and the train. It's not brain, it is mind. Now, this is not a lesson about the mind. It's just a wind conversation at this time about losing the mind. Because there is the way of the mind and there is the way of the body. Now, after losing my mind, you might say, gone crazy? Yeah, I had my secure job. I had my secured job, my elusive secured job in computers, in IT, earning from the age of 23, 10,000 shekels, 2,500 euros, doubling that with time and more. And a so-called secured life in what? Secured in what? My buttocks sat on a bench like that also before, or maybe on a chair, and I went through companies from 2006 and 2012 in the Matrix IT, the company in Israel. And again, the path you are treading now, may it be in IT, or maybe it is with your Guruji, or anything, it does not matter. Again, yet it seems that one is bound to lose his mind in order for something else to be perceived in reality, in life. And I'm talking to you now. It's not just that I put this microphone and I make this recording and maybe the film will come out eventually from IT to Guruji and Mataji. It does not matter, it already exists. All of you are hearing my message, even as I think it, even before I am aware that I think it. The message. So IT. This is the real, my real IT. Sitting here in the viewpoint which is called Mitzpeh Kinneret. Mitzpeh, viewpoint, Kinneret is this water reservoir of Israel. Sweet water. This is the true IT. This is truly it. At this moment, nothing that occupies my consciousness except sitting on the bench, experiencing the wind. I don't want to say even enjoying or not. There are some mosquitoes or something like that. I don't even know their names in English. It's not like these regular biting mosquitoes. It's a bit warm or hot. I'm under the shade of the pine tree. Beginning summertime, ending spring. Seasons are changing and this is it. Now I meet you people out there as you have met me before in my confusion between IT and IT. IT and IT. Between what is reality. I've seen reality before. I've watched the Sea of Galilee, Kinneret. I've met Guruji. I've worked in IT and computers. So what has changed? I don't really know. I cannot summarize this to a phrase, to a word. This is why it comes in different stories. The wind stories, the spirit stories. For myself, to let these waves of letters and sounds go out to the world, to describe something different about the reality. The reality you speak about, I call illusion. When once we will start perhaps to speak about the reality you talk about as illusion, and you will start to speak about the reality I see, and you will start calling it reality, then maybe we'll start having fun here. Yeah. I am having fun anyway, and I meet more and more people in their suffering because this is yin and yang. I've got the energy, so it attracts the forces who require this. I am not in my old comfort zone of secured financial situation where I can take a mortgage and live in a house with a woman, a wife, and 2.5 kids and a dog and in some suburban place. Yeah. Or maybe I am, but I'm not telling you. And you are seemingly worried for me. That's a very funny paradox. What can you give to the richest person alive? Truly, what can you give to the richest person alive? A person who does not believe anymore in sickness and health, or richness and poorness. And he does talk about it. If I don't identify with my situation, with my physical situation, my mental situation, my emotional situation, how can it be sick or healthy or good or bad? And I meet you people out there. Yes, you and you and you and you. And some of you I connect nowadays again to Guruji and Mataji. So I can tread my path and I can learn from their perspective and their mature perspective, and me as a teenager, and say, no, you're 35. Teenager is 16 years old. Yes, you have told me that today. No, 16 is a teenager. You're not a teenager. Well, that's the reality you see, and I see a different reality, and I surrender to this reality. But I cannot convince you of anything. I've not come to convince you of anything. And again, as funny as it is just the very narrow path I meet. When I meet you and you talk about your quote-unquote, your so-called problems, they do not exist, but I cannot convince you of that. I could not be convinced that the problems I have are illusion, and I've been told that. No, you ignore, you deny life. That's when you're attached to how your mind operates, and you have taught to be attached to false conceptions. I'm just bringing a counterpoint to your false conceptions. How do I know they're false? I don't know, but I can smell it, and I can see it, and I can hear it. One can hear it very easily when you use the output, which is the mouth. This small little thing it's not even in the center of your face, the center of our face. And you have learned to produce sounds, but you are producing false conceptions. And when I mean false conceptions, it's conceptions who bring you to suffer in this life. And again, the other side is not joy. It's not a false enthusiasm. It is about truly seeing what you're here to see. And when you're caught in identification with false reality, you're simply missing the ride, the life that you're given. And it is very noticeable in your body, but also in your words. Which words you construct, whether it will be in English from A to Z, or in Hebrew from Aleph ad Taf, and I've spoken about it before, or in Hindi in the letters which I don't know, or in Greek or in Russian or in different language, but it is shown also in your body language. Now if you stand on your own ground, and I'm telling you, you're perceiving reality in a false way, and if you're standing on your own ground, it would do nothing to your ground. You would laugh together with me like we're babies or children or something like that. Because you may have also lost your mind. But when you're clinging to your mind, you would fight as hard as possible to me claiming that you have lost your mind or you have false conceptions. I accept I have lost my mind. I've lost my mind. Lost my mind. Where is my mind? Where is all the safety and security, and why the hell or heaven do I feel so secure nowadays ever than before? When I had someone signing me a paycheck and giving me money every month, regular time, but it was false conception, false security. Like you might get it from your partner, from your lover, from your wife. It is also very common, and you're entrapped in this false conception of security. And there are many traps like this. many, many traps. I'm also sometimes trapped. I am also sometimes trapped. But once you are secured in your place, also getting out, you know that the trap is there, that you have fallen into this trap, and you actually do nothing and you get out of this trap that the mind tries to, prepares for you. Now, very few people, as I have perceived in this short-term phase on this earth, 35 years has been said, have learned how to use this music box we are, that produces sounds, and mainly again this small hole, look at and the impact it makes, this small hole. This is why size do not matter. This small hole that, again, in the language we attribute it, if I'm talking now in English, 26 letters and all these words and sentences and concepts. Very, very few people have learned to create interesting music. Most of it is repetitive false conceptions. And you're perpetuating these false conceptions. Now you might ask then, who made you in charge of all of this? What makes you believe that you're making good music, interesting music? I don't know, nobody, I don't know. But I don't even care anymore. The people out there reflect that to me, of my construction of concepts, of how I describe these things that I see. Again, even if it's not with the eyes, even if it's just internally, even if it's describing what I smell, but describing this reality through this illusion of the senses of perception. Now you've got your unique place, you've got your way of losing your mind and establishing your body and establishing the relationship between the mind and the body just before you die. You still have a chance, because if you're listening to it, even if this recording will make its way to you, although I believe it makes already the way to you, because it's not in what you hear, it is out there in the world already. If you're just the other side of the globe, some of you understand that. Guruji and Mataji understand that. They don't ask questions, they are present with the music. It's like if I take my drums, the tablas, and I make sound, and just, what was it? Or I play the guitar, you don't ask me. Or well, sometimes you do when you hear a familiar song, but you're familiar with this tool that produces music, which is the instrument of the mouth, and the vocal strings, and the vocal cords, and the abdomen, and all the cavities inside of us. You identify, so you expect a certain kind of music. And the song repeats itself in many, many repetitive false conceptions. And it's not to incline that you're doing something good or bad or wrong. It's just like I'm describing, hey, I see the Sea of Galilee in front of me. I see Kinneret, I see the valley, I see the cars. I see false conceptions. Maybe this Kinneret, Sea of Galilee, is if I anthropomorphize that, is, hey, why do you call me Sea of Galilee? I'm just all these whatever. It's not a human form, it's consciousness, this water, the lake. We gave it a name, and I give you the name of false conceptions to the way you describe reality. Again, I'm just preparing traps for you. So you would fall into these traps and you would be able to discover something new. So for some of you it would be possible in a secure way, although there's none, in a secure way, although there is none, to lose your mind. To lose all what you have grown upon. The false conceptions, the beliefs, not to establish my own beliefs. There are ways of using this toolbox, the mouth, the language, that is helping you be programmed outside of that. So you can develop in software programming your own way. But mostly the programming out there is to get you to walk the same ghost path like everybody else. And my time has come. My time has always been there. Not necessarily I have seen it, but my time has come. And you come to me. And you ask me even to give you a name, and title it, and explain it, and make it understandable. You keep asking me. Not all of you, but you. המציל נפש אחת כאילו הציל עולם ומלואו. The one who saved one soul is like he saved the whole world. Now, as I say, my soul has been saved, and it's not some religious, mystical thing. It's very earthly, very down to earth. It's not about Judaism or Christianity or Hinduism or whatever you want to call it. It's just sitting on the bench, watching the Sea of Galilee, and realizing that life has been solved. The riddle has been solved, was solved, is solved. That it is all just happening. Again, in the cloudiness of the mind, it's not all the time like that. This is just a clear state at this moment. But once it is realized, it is always there. Even if you forget it, even if I forget it, and I do forget it. That seems to be the human way, at least in my path, in this incarnation, at this point. Like night and day comes, and in the night I may not see the Sea of Galilee, and certainly not like this, also in a different season. So you say that I may have lost my mind. Some of you even determine it very dominantly. Some said I'm not human. Really, in different ways. Oh, you're not. Oh, it's too bad, you're not human. Or some say, you are not human. You have a different role. Or some say, oh, you're egoistic. And some say, oh, you are egoistic. And, there are different ways in that. There are different ways also to lose the mind. My eyes kind of hit in the view the mountains of Golan Mountains, but there is something beyond and beyond and beyond. You are beyond, 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 and you are here. You've always been here with me, always, always, all of you, from IT to Guruji and Mataji, and all of you, to the right, to the left, above, behind, below, inside of me, outside. The answer, my friend, is blown in the wind. And it seems like, or it is experienced like a very different sensation in the body when life is solved. When the riddle of life is solved and all is left is to live. I've not talked with you now about my job, my work, my family life, where I live, where I come from, where I'm going to. I don't know all of that. I can give you answers, I can give you details. You are my parents, you are my daughters, you are my son, you are my lovers, you're everything. You have to believe in it, but you don't have to. But in order to really see it, one has to swim in this whole pool of consciousness. To see beyond whatever you see. To see beyond whatever you see. And it seems I'm making my journey to describe that to you. Describe my subjective perspective about reality, about what I see. Why? I don't know. I don't know why my lungs operate, or my heart, or this physical form. I truly don't know. Yeah, there are explanations, there are reasons, there are stories, but I don't really know. This is the mystical path. It's just is. Yes, we human beings, we give reasons and titles, and we speak and we write about it. We can claim that we know. We can be sure that we know. But it's just the human phenomena. And surely I have lost my mind. From IT to Guruji, from one false security to another even false security, because all securities fall eventually. When you're present, nothing exists anymore. Yes, I feel the bench, it holds me. I see the Sea of Galilee, I see all of it. It doesn't exist. So I tell you today, the experiences that happened and what you call bad is just your imagination. And you say, how can you say that? How can you say all the people who were violent towards me, how can you say all of this did not happen? That I imagined all of that? I cannot convince you in that. This is the memory. The memory has usage of storing experiences, but not being attached to continuously being a victim. To use these experiences and this consciousness from the experiences, they're not good or bad. I've seen people with what the people might describe horrible experiences. Wow, surprising that you're even still alive and haven't killed yourself. I've met people with these experiences, and some say that about I'm relatively rich. Even in my bad experience, they're very mild, nothing too extreme. Maybe a big thing in my life, not meeting my daughter for 3 years since she was born, and then reunited at the age of 3, and being addicted to one woman and the trap in the demonic energy there, in cravings. Okay, some of you might say, wow, how terrible not to see your daughter for 3 years since she was born. Okay, again, we compare experiences. To say this one was really bad. Again, but that's the illusion of the mind, of the memory. It serves a role, to remember serves a role, but it's a trap. It's like any other tool. How you use it, it's what makes a difference, what matters. So you seem like suffering from your memory, and I tell you it's an imagination. You're still not ready to believe in it. You're still not ready to surrender. I cannot convince you of anything. I can tell you that your memory is a false conception. You see it sometimes. Again, in people who had accidents or stuff like that, and suddenly they don't remember their past experience. And yes, it's frightening, because hey, where's the past experience, good and bad? Because suddenly you don't remember your past. But you're here to remember your past. You're here to have a memory, an identification with a memory, with an imagination of what you think or believe happened a second ago, or a year, or a decade, or lifetimes before. This is not reality. This is not the presence right now where I'm connected to this whole experience now. Again, this is a different time frame. Presence is a different time frame. This is timelessness, although there is time. Yeah? But memory is an illusion. And again, it's not understanding it mentally, it's inner realization. The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind, as I see these two lovely girls hiding behind the stones. And tomorrow I may remember that they were there. It serves a purpose. There are different kinds of memories. Again, if the memory is causing you suffering, you're caught in the illusion of the memory, in the false use of memory. And it might be your chance to lose your mind, also through false conceptions, also through the illusion of memory. For some of you,